Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining in today. My name is Havindra Gunawardana, and I will be your moderator for this webinar. So I want to thank all of you for coming in, and I believe that today you're going to have a very exciting session with many very senior panel members who are with us today, and we have a very exciting subject to talk about. In fact, it is the launching of the Masters in Information Technology. And I believe that, we are going through so many challenges in this era. If you look around, if you look at the news, we know the challenges, the global pandemic, and so many things are going on. But in the middle of all of those challenges, we have the opportunity to come together and talk about the future and prepare the workforce for the future, right? So that's a very exciting thing. We have the ability to prepare ourselves. And I believe the launching of this Masters in Information Technology is going to be a very powerful launching pad for many young employees and the part of the workforce into the future. It's going to be very exciting. So we have with us, I'm not going to take much of their time because we have a lot of exciting content to discuss together. So we have with us a very senior, a very experienced panel team here who will be discussing the Masters with us. And also we are going to look at some of the things that are happening in the industry. We have with us, first, let me introduce each of them very quickly. We have with us the Dean of IIT, Ms. Naomi Krishnaraja. She's with us as well. And we also have with us Professor Damita Karunaratna, who is a visiting consultant at IIT. We also have with us Professor N.D. Kodikara, who is the consulting professor at IIT. And we have with us a guest, and that is Mr. Mangala Pereira. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Root Code Labs, and is also a General Council member of SLASCOM. So he's going to share some very exciting, interesting insight into the industry, right? But to begin today, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Dilan Shaminda, who is with us. And Dilan is a senior lecturer at IIT and is also the course leader. He will be the course leader of the Masters in Information Technology. So Dilan, without taking any more time, I'd like to hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Havindra. Havindra, is my screen visible?
Yes, Dilan.
Okay. So thank you, and I would like to welcome all of you to the launching event of MSc IT program. And Informatics Institute for Technology, the pioneer in British higher education in Sri Lanka, introduces the new master's program in information technology with collaboration of University of Westminster, United Kingdom. So this course is a generalist computing master's program, which has been specially designed for the non-computing first degree holders who are planning to change their careers and have intention to join with the IT industry. And also for the graduates who have some limited computing knowledge and planning to enhance their knowledge and skills in computing domain. And also for those who are already in the IT industry, the computing professionals with over 5 years of experience and who are looking for a formal qualification. And this course actually has been designed to compete with both the local and global industry required skills and knowledge. So as I mentioned earlier, this program, this is a franchise degree program offered by the University of Westminster. And I think this is a very good opportunity for you to gain a British qualification in Sri Lanka under a highly qualified lecture panel at IIT. And total number of credits for this program is 180 credits. So now I will move on to the key purposes of this program. So the first key purpose is to select apply and critically evaluate the object-oriented paradigm, and as well as the appropriate software tools and techniques in order to build high-quality software products by following the software development life cycle. And also, you will gain the knowledge in order to analyze, interpret, and explore the technical and the theoretical knowledge and the practical experience in order to explain complex real-world problems. And another purpose of this program is to build self-critical learning by learning individually and also evaluating your own and others' work, and as well as working effectively within a team as a team leader or as a team member. And as a master student, you will be also expected to build your own knowledge by through individual research and reading as well. Last but not least, communicate confidently and effectively in academic and professional environments by the means of written, orally, and through software demonstration. So these are the core key purposes of this program, and I will move to the entry requirements for this program. So a minimum of a lower second class honors degree from a recognized university is required. So as I mentioned earlier, a non-computing first degree is required. And if you are coming from backgrounds, for example, from business computing, business management, and maybe you have electronic or electrical engineering degree, maybe you are coming from mathematical background, and you are eligible to apply for this program. And in case if you do not have a first degree, and if you have over 5 years of industry experience, then still you can join this master's program. And the applicants may be interviewed to assess their suitability for this course as well. And if you have your first degree in computing or software engineering, or if your first degree has the majority of the modules in computing or software engineering, this course may not be suitable for you because the same content might be repeating here as well. So we'll move to the core modules. So there are 6 core modules, including the software development project, which is the most important module in this program. And these core modules are specially designed in order to give you the required skills and knowledge in order to compete within the IT industry, in today's IT industry. And you will learn object-oriented programming and related concepts, and also different data structures and algorithms available. And you will learn about different software tools and IDEs you can use in order to develop quality software products. And also under the software development environments, you will gain the knowledge of networking and computer hardware as well. And under the data repositories, principles, and tools, you will mainly learn about the database management systems, as well as the introduction to data warehousing techniques. And advanced software design is also another important module where you are going to learn about different principles of software design and different concepts of software design. And as well as you will learn about different data patterns, design patterns, in order to build in order to design quality software products. And during the software development project, you are expected to undertake a individual software development project under on an approved topic under a supervisor assigned by the IIT. So these core modules are mandatory modules where you have to complete all the core modules, and you have to complete all the first 5 core modules before you take the software development project, because that knowledge is very essential in order to follow this software development module. And there are 8 optional modules available in this course, and you are free to choose any 2 optional modules out of these 8 modules provided. So I will give a brief introduction about each of the modules since we have some limited time. So in the web application and development module, we will basically learn about the front end and the back end technologies and how to design and implement some nice looking websites and how to connect it to the database and the backend server. So you will learn those things under this module. And under the mobile application development module, you will mainly learn about the iOS application development for the mobile application, mobile devices, as well as for the tablets. And under the cybersecurity threats and countermeasures, you will mainly learn about how these typical security solutions and systems can fail, and what are the countermeasures you can take in order to reduce this risk. And when it comes to data visualization and dashboarding, you will learn about both the theoretical and practical knowledge you need in order to come up with proper data visualization and dashboarding techniques. And also in the data warehousing and business intelligence, you will learn about data warehousing architecture and logical and physical design of the data warehousing, and also about CRM, customer relationship management, and as well as data mining methodologies. And nowadays we know that we are actually generating millions and billions of data. So under the big data theory and practice module, you will learn how to manage volume, velocity, and the variety of big data, and also about the issues related to data governance, and as well as the quality, data quality. And when it comes to the network security, you will learn about the introduction to network security, as well as the network security fundamentals, and how to design a secure network and how to implement a secure network. You will learn those things under this network security module. And e-learning concepts and applications, this module actually we have specially introduced for the ICT teachers in Sri Lanka, because we know that online teaching is a very challenging task. And under this module, you will learn about what are the different strategies that you can use in order to successfully deliver online classes, and what are the tools and techniques that you can use, and how you can arrange your online classes, and as well as what are the future trends in e-learning. So according to these optional modules, actually we have identified 4 different pathways. So these pathways are designed for you to as a guidance when you are going to select your optional modules. So the first pathway is the mobile and web pathway, and the second pathway is the cybersecurity, and third pathway is the data science, and the last pathway identified is the e-learning. So as I mentioned earlier, you can choose actually 2 modules from out of those 8 optional modules, and you are free to choose those 2 modules, and you can even choose those 2 optional modules across these pathways as well. So I think you are really excited to know about the associated careers after you have successfully completed this master's program. And after completing this master's program, you would be qualified for work as a lecturer, an ICT teacher, as well as an ICT trainer. And not only those roles, you will be eligible to work as a software developer, designer, and as well as a software engineer. And if you have taken mobile and web application modules, you will be eligible to work as a mobile application or web application developer as well, and also as a performance engineer. And also you will be eligible to work as a data scientist and big data engineer, and also in the cybersecurity and networking domain, cybersecurity consultant, technical analyst, and technical consultant jobs are also there for you to choose after you have successfully completed this master's program. And for example, if you are coming from the business management background, then you can combine your existing knowledge with the new skills and knowledge you gained throughout this course, and you will be qualified to work as a business analyst, and as well as an IT executive, IT manager, or as IT project analyst. And apart from these careers, after successfully completing this master's program, you will get the sound knowledge and understanding in order to follow a highly technical master's degree or a research degree in computing or software engineering domain. So I will move to the duration and intakes. So there are two delivery modes for this program, 1 year full-time and 2 years part-time. And there are mainly 3 intakes, September, January, and May. So I hope all of you got some useful information about this new master's program. So it was a brief introduction due to the time limitation. And thank you very much. And I'm handing over the session to Havindra. Thank you, Havindra.
Thank you, Dilan. I think that was excellent. You gave us a great overview of the master's program. Ladies and gentlemen who are logged in, and I also want to welcome the audience who's logging in from YouTube and Facebook, and I want to welcome all of you. And I just want to encourage you, if you have any questions that you would like to ask after you heard Dilan's presentation, you saw his presentation, you might have many questions you would like him to respond to. So please send those questions in. If you're logged in from Facebook, you can send them in from Facebook Live and from YouTube as well, the comments, and they will reach me and we will be able to direct them to Dilan. All right. So, okay. So let me get started with something very exciting. So I want to actually direct a few questions at our panel members today. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, they come with many years of experience, both in the industry and also academically, right? So there's so much that they are going to add to our knowledge today. And firstly, Mangal, I'm going to put you on the spotlight, right? And Mangal, you're a person with many, many years in the industry, especially in the ERP domain. And right now you are leading Root Code Labs as well. Which you, I'm sure, will give us an introduction into. And you've seen, I mean, years in IFS and organizations with a large amount of experience that you carry. I'm sure you can notice the trends of how the industry is changing and what is happening. And there's so much of changes that are happening, right? Mangal, can you bring some insight into all of this? Because as you realize, the more we educate ourselves and move in a certain direction, new pathways are created for young people and into the industry. So how do you see the industry evolving? What is happening?
Thank you, Javi. So good evening, everyone. And first of all, I really would like to thank you for inviting me, because I really would like to talk to the audience, those who are going to start a new degree program, because this is the right time to talk to, because then you get to know what you're going to get, after you're finishing your degree. So as you said, Javi, if you take this IT industry has more than 2 decades history in Sri Lanka. But if you look at the way that IT industry is growing, what we can see is it is growing at a very fast pace. And if you look at the way that, if I talk about the growth of the industry, so we can see, even before COVID, of course, IT industry has done the big contribution to the world. But with the COVID and with, people started work, doing things remote, and that has opened up so many opportunities for those who are developing IT products, right? So that's also one thing that really brought was one of the inputs for the growth of the industry as well. So talking about the new ways, Javi, of course, now if you take new trends like 20 years ago that we have been developing desktop applications, right? So with that, we call the world is going through different industrial revolutions. So industry 1.0, we found the steam engine, then mass manufacturing, then you started the robot came in, right? So then we are now in the industry 4.0, where that machines are talking to each other. At the same time, cloud computing came in and IoT came in, and with that, the way that our user is using our product has also changed, from desktop to laptop to the tablets to mobile phones, right? So I can remember 20 years ago that we have been developing desktop application. Now we have replaced all these desktop application into web and mobile solutions, right? So that brought up different areas into the industry. That is why that if you take current trends, mobile, web, and And mobile and web development is one of the key areas. At the same time, now with IoT and big data, so we have to deal with a lot of data as well, right? So this is the new opportunity for the industry. At the same time, when you are connecting remote, and cybersecurity has become another area that we need to have, we need to focus in. Other areas like AI and machine learning, because sometimes like the people bought, although they paid for software systems to store data and process data. Now it is not enough. They want to have the better visualization of their data, and also our users need to have, they need to take informed decisions we take. Like this is where that AI, machine learning, all these things also came into the picture. So the technically, those are the new trends in the industry. I think that is what you want me to answer, right?
Yes, absolutely, Mangala. Thank you so much. That's exciting to see, because in the industry there is always a new demand that is created, right? There is demand, and it's important that we understand the supply, because if the demand is created and there is no supply, then we have a big problem, right? So the right resources need to be supplied to the demand that is created. So I think that's the key component of what you were saying as well, Mangal.
Sure. So, okay, now when you ask about the supply and the demand, even though I'm smiling, I should cry, to be honest. Like this is the biggest pain point. If you look at the way that industry has been growing, the best way to look at how we have been growing last 7 years, especially, even though we have been here for more than 2 decades. In 2014, the IT workforce in Sri Lanka was like around 80,000. But after 5 years, because we have the ICTA, they have done a workforce survey. In 2019, after 5 years, it was around 125. Now we think like it is closer to 150,000, right? So from 80,000 to 150,000 within 7 years, the workforce has doubled, right? So this is the way that the industry is growing. But when I was listening to the people from the different companies, when we are in the industry forums, what I hear is we could have done better, and if we could have get more businesses here, more opportunities here, if we had right amount of capacity. So going to the capacity question, Javi, again, I go back to the ICT workforce survey and where we are now. In 2014, the demand for IT graduates were somewhere around 6,000. And when it comes to the number of IT graduates coming out of institutes was around 6,000. It's like this, right? But in 2019, the demand for IT graduates per year, I'm talking about annual, 21,000. But the capacity has only grown to 9,000, right? So from 2019 onwards, we are having 12,000 gap every year when it comes to capacity versus demand. So this is the main pain point for us. And that is why that I think as Clascom, as industry people, we are doing our best and working together with institutes to look at how we can actually generate this capacity. Because when it comes to those capacity, those are just purely numbers that I'm talking about, Javi, but behind those numbers, quality is also matters. Like it's not about how many graduates are coming out of the university. It's actually about how many right quality graduates are coming out as well. So this is where we are actually struggling at the moment. So capacity is the main pain point for the industry, to be honest.
Right. Thanks, Mangala. Thank you for that insight. But yeah, you have raised, I think, a big concern, right? Such a great demand and such a great need. And therefore, it's so important that people are equipped and ready to meet that demand. One more thing before I let you go, Mangala, I'm not letting you go. I will come back to you. But just for a short while, before we do that, I want to ask you, you mentioned that there is such a need in the industry. Now, what are the current roles that you see that can make the highest impact in the industry where there is the greatest demand. Can you share that with us as well?
Yes, Javi. I think before going into the answer, Javi, I want to mention when it comes to IT jobs in the IT industry, the first time when you hear it, probably you might think about software engineers in IT companies, right? So, but I want to correct it as well, because if you take IT jobs, it's not only in IT companies, there are IT jobs in non-IT companies as well. So when we talk about the demand, it's not only from IT companies. So basically in the demand, 70%, around 70% is coming from IT companies, but the rest of the 30 is coming from non-IT and also from the government as well. Like if you take non-IT companies, there are companies, those who are having in-house, the IT teams, they are developing their own software as well. So if you take the demand, it is not only coming from IT companies, that's one thing. The other thing is if you take IT jobs, there are many number of different jobs like software engineers, quality assurance engineers, business system analysts, program managers, project managers, system engineers. But the majority, predominantly, the majority is for software engineers in IT companies, right? So if you take the major demand and major gap that we have is for software engineering jobs in IT companies.
Excellent. I think your answer, Mangala, is corresponding very much with what Dilan shared with us earlier as well on industry requirements and the roles that are available in the industry. And of course, he was talking about the master's program and how it will add capacity in people who do the program to actually meet those demands. So that's very interesting. Thank you, Mangala. I'll come back to you. All right. So I give you a small time to rest, and then I'll be back for more questions. But next, I'd like to focus on Dr. Damitha. Dr. Damitha, thank you for being with us today. And I'd like to ask you, Doctor, how can doing a master's, now this master's in information technology, how can it actually help somebody to choose a career, or not only choose those who are already in the industry? How can they might want to change their career or enhance their career, go in for promotions and take on greater responsibilities with their master's degree in information technology? How can that doing a master's actually help them to do that?
Okay, Javi, there are actually two answers, a very short answer and a little bit of lengthy answer. I don't know now, if you look at around you, ICT is everywhere. So the question would be, can anybody survive in future without even having basic knowledge in ICT? That's the short answer. And the a little bit lengthy answer would be, now all prospective students can be basically grouped into two categories: students who are relatively new to the ICT industry, and students who are already in the ICT industry or IT industry. And doing a master's in information technology means either acquiring new knowledge and skills or reinforcing your existing knowledge and skills in ICT, right? If you are new to ICT, completing a master's program firstly provides you with a new qualification. In Sri Lanka, that is very much needed. You need to have a certificate, right? That is very much needed. And secondly, provides you with essential base knowledge and skills that makes you ready to embark on a new career in any ICT-related industry. If you are already familiar with the fundamentals of ICT, doing a master's would reinforce and enhance your current knowledge and skills. The course will introduce new technologies and tools and teach you how to use these tools and techniques efficiently. This also helps you to choose the appropriate tools, because there are a large number of tools which are being designed and developed, and choosing the appropriate tool is an essential, right? So this kind of course will provide you the necessary background knowledge to select the appropriate tool, and how to use these tools efficiently you can learn. And also it helps you to think differently and to carry out your task better and smarter with the help of a variety of tools and techniques available, and to that, not only that, and to convince your decisions to all the stakeholders with proper evidence. That is also important. Yeah. Yeah, Javi.
Thank you, Dr. Damta. I think, you've answered that question, and also you have answered one of the other questions I wanted to ask you as well, which is great. You mentioned what kind of things we will learn in the master's degree itself, or information technology course. So I think that's a very powerful thing, and I'm sure there will be some questions that will come out of that, which Dr. Damta, I will direct back to you. And so before that, I will just move on. Thank you so much. I will move on to Professor Kodikara also, who comes with so much of experience. Professor Kodikara, thank you for being with us today. And I would like to ask you, Professor, who do you believe should study a master's in information technology? Who is not only eligible, I think that's one area you can cover, who is eligible, but then who should really focus on doing a master's in information technology?
Thank you, Harindra. Yes, actually, this course mainly aim at the non-computing graduates who have got their degrees in other areas like maybe management, engineering, and so on. So now they want to enhance their IT knowledge. As Professor Tham said, IT is everywhere. So therefore, they need to apply them in maybe in their own working institute or organization, and also or get another career. But this is mainly a conversion type course, so therefore may not be suitable for computer science graduates. So this course, of course, as Professor Dham said, it will be how to apply technology to various to find some solutions in maybe in society and also maybe in the organizations. So therefore, mainly the non-computing graduates, but maybe you got a degree from the management degree or engineering degree, but you find your IT knowledge is need to improve. So this is an ideal master's degree, because that you will learn the most up-to-date tools and various languages also, and technology. So therefore, so that you can build, develop your own IT systems, maybe at your organizations, and also you might be able to join in the IT industry. IT industry needs a lot of graduates, as Mangala said. So therefore, it is important that the people who got degrees in other areas to come into this field, IT field, so that there are many areas that the people that there are a lot of demand, like cybersecurity, and maybe data science is another area that you mentioned, and also this developing mobile applications and web applications. So therefore, in this course, actually mainly look at how to use existing technology to find solutions, rather than going into computer science theoretical things, actually. So therefore, it is very suitable for graduates who got their degrees in other areas.
Thank you, Professor Kodikara. Now, there is one question, Professor, that the audience, one of the members in the audience has raised. I think it would be very appropriate for me to ask that question from you. So Nuzha, who's in the audience, has asked, now, would this MSc in IT be ideal for someone who has done the BIS degree? So Nuzha has done the BIS degree and wants to know whether it is ideal for them to do the MSc or the Masters in IT.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat. Somebody is asking that question. BIS. Yeah, I think this is more into IT area, so software development and that kind of security aspects and like that. So data science aspect, and also e-learning access, the type of things also there. So therefore, it is a more it is suitable even for business students, actually, right? So that will enhance their career further, actually, right? Further, because they can get a degree from a highly reputed foreign university. So therefore, that will enhance their career further.
I have some addition to what Professor Kodikara said. And actually, some people think this ICT is only for the people who has done a degree in computer science. It's not the case, because computer science can be considered at several level of abstractions. Because if somebody is working at the computer as hardware, then yeah, he is working at the hardware device level. And then if somebody is designing a software, he's looking at the programming level. But several people like the user who asked this question, they may be working at a level above that. So they are making use of tools available, and they are trying to apply the tools to find out quick and easy solutions. So in that way, they have to look into this in a different level of abstractions. So no one need to know about, they need to have some idea about programming, but they are using programming at a different level. For example, if you look at this Microsoft Excel, in Excel also you are doing programming, but you don't realize that you are doing programming, but you are, when entering the equation or something and manipulating cells, you are doing some sort of programming, but that is at a different level. So anybody can benefit from this at different level of abstraction. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Dr. Damitha, and thank you, Professor Kodikara. I think that is excellent information there. And Dr. Damitha, just on what you said, I think there is another question now. This is raised by Chatura, who is also in the audience. Chatura says he did his bachelor's in information technology, bachelor's in IT, specializing in computer systems and network engineering. So he also would like to ask, is this appropriate for him to do master's in IT or cybersecurity? Doctor, your mic is muted.
There are different pathways, but if you want to embark on this pathways, you need to have basic understanding of the basis of the fundamental aspects. Since you have done IT, possibly in the few semester, it might be a little bit easy for you, but in ICT, everything is changing at a very high speed. So then this course will let you know what are the available tools and what are the available techniques and what kind of algorithms are available, etc. So it is beneficial for everybody. And it's no problem that anybody from any area need to have some knowledge in ICT. Otherwise, in future, I don't know whether they can continue their work without the help of ICT.
Thank you, Doctor. Yes. Professor Kodikara, just one more question from you before I let you go. And that question is, if now many of the audience may be already in an existing role, they must be already working somewhere at a specific role in their organizations. Now, how can a master's in IT add value to their current role?
Yeah, actually, there maybe in organizations, maybe they are working in a government organization, for example, maybe there are IT systems already there, maybe there are IT systems. So therefore, they can use this knowledge actually to enhance their maybe IT systems in their working place. So that is one of the major thing that, and there is a project in this course. So that is one of the important thing where they can build their systems actually with the latest technology for their organization. So they can enhance the IT capacity in their organization, maybe government organization already they are doing. And then that way they can enhance the organization and also their own career path. Okay, their own career path. They are getting a very good master's degree, as we already said. So that way they can improve. And since there are many pathways in the course, so they, depending on their interest, if they are interested in cybersecurity, for example, there are big demands in that area these days. So like that, they can select that one. Two optional modules from those ones. So like that, they can select the optional subjects, depending on their requirement as well as their organization requirements, and also the demand in the IT industry. So therefore, the organizations also will benefit through this Master of Information Technology, and also the the applicants as well. Also, they will get a very good master's degree.
Yeah, Javi, I have something to add to
Yes, Doctor.
Professor Kodika's statement. Actually, I always tell this to my students. I have been in this area domain for more than 25 years or more than 30 years. And actually, when I passed out from the university about 30 years back, I did only one subject in computer science because we didn't have computers in our universities even. So I did one course in computer science, and even Professor Kodikar is one of my teachers. And then just passing out, I thought I knew computer science quite well. Then I got an opportunity to read for my master's. Then after doing my master's, I had a little suspicious about what I know about this entire field. And then after completing my PhD, I have realized how little I know about this entire spectrum. This is very fast, and it's evolving at a very high pace. So every day we have to learn new things. Now my current problem I am facing now is how to learn all these things within my lifetime. So I'm sure anybody has new things to learn and to develop their skills by learning these new skills and techniques.
Thank you, Dr. Damita and Professor Kodikara. Thank you so much. I think, Dr. Damita, you mentioned an amazing thing when you said lifelong learning, the value of constant learning, and there is no end to learning. So I think that's a very powerful thing. And thank you so much for the contribution from both of you. And I think there are many questions that are coming in, so I will direct them to you shortly. But before that, Mangala, I'm back to you. So I'd like to, get a little bit more information out of all the experience that you have. And I'm sure you're going to add a lot of value to this next question. And the question is, how do you think, Mangala, this degree, now we heard a bit of an overview from Dilan as well earlier on the course, how it is structured, and how do you feel that this master's program will add value to the industry needs? And at the same time, I'd like to ask you, Mangala, what do you think are the other, other than the course learnings that students will take away, what are the other skills that students need to develop?
Sure, Javi. So if I go back to the capacity challenge that we are having, so as I said, every year we are basically having 12,000 gap in the capacity, right? So it's a big number, right? So we as a SLASCOM, as also we as industry people, we are working together with the institute and also together with the government to solve it in many different ways, right? So the obvious the answer is always increase the intake in the universities. Then it's actually a long-term thing, because if you increase the intake this year, so they will come out to the industry in 4 years' time, right? So this is a sort of a big problem that we are the tackling with, and we need to have many different answers. We need to tackle it in many different ways. So one thing that I see, the one benefit and one the nice thing with this degree program is this is sort of a conversion program as well, because I have met many different really good, passionate IT people in the industry, those who have taken different paths in their academic life. So they have done, they went to engineering to do IT, but they eventually, ended up with civil engineering, probably electronics. So, many different, the discipline that they have they followed. Now they think IT is my field to join. So this is the very good way to do quick conversion into the IT industry, because we can actually, the diverge all these talents into IT industry if they have the passion. So I think the one main purpose, what we heard at the beginning of this degree program is do it as a conversion program. Probably you have already done a degree, maybe you have done IT as a, it's not major, but you have done IT as a subject. Probably you haven't done IT at all, but you think IT is for me. So you can actually take this course and come back to come to the industry, right? So that is one beautiful thing that I see in this degree program. And also, if you look at the way that the degree program is structured. You will learn about computational thinking at the beginning with data structures and also object-oriented programming and so on. Then you work with data, then you will do the project, and then you get the opportunity to pick your track. Like if you want to become a front-end developer, so you can do mobile and web. And if you want to become a full stack developer, that's a different thing. If you want to go to the cybersecurity, that's another thing. If you wanted to become a data scientist or machine learning engineer, then you can do AI. So I can see that, you can pick different paths here. And also I can see this is sort of I see this as a conversion, the postgraduate program, which is really good, because these sort of programs will convert talented, passionate IT the talents into the IT industry. So I really want to appreciate IIT for initiating this program. Then talking about what else they should do, we are talking about the skills. Like I want to, emphasize one more thing. Even though I told that there is a 12,000 gap, this industry is not going to lower the bar to get people in, right? So it's not about how many graduates are coming out, how many, right quality graduates are coming out from the institutes. So this industry will not afford to lower the bar, because a lot of companies are not Sri Lankan companies. If they don't find the right talent, they will go somewhere else. But that is something that I want to emphasize. Having the demand doesn't mean that industry will absorb anyone. You need to have those skills in you. So degree programs can teach you fundamentals that you need to know. But if you take any skill, it could be if you want to become a cricketer, if you want to become a swimmer, if you want to become a programmer, you need to practice and practice and practice and practice. I mean, this is same for anything, right? So what you need to do is actually, while learning those theories, you need to do some hands-on. The good example is you have the project module. So find a really good project, do a real project, right? And then when you're doing the real project, you can use, probably you might not be able to use everything that you learn, but pick some of those elements and also look at the industry trend and the trend in technologies. And if you can do a real project, even for free, someone else, right, and host it somewhere and let someone to use it, so that will give you real hands-on practice. So basically degree will bring you to the water, right, and you have to drink it. So simple as that. So those are the technical skills that I'm talking about. And apart from that, other skills that you have mentioned at the beginning, like, collaboration, working within a team, communication, all other, the professional skills that you need to acquire. Those are the additional things that I want to emphasize, Havitra. So those things are essential. Again, I emphasize, when you hear 12,000 job, doesn't mean that industry will absorb any 12,000. You need to, be good at it, to be honest.
Mangala, I think that was brilliant what you said about, the factor of quality being such an important factor in the workforce, because you said, just out of what you said, some of the highlights that I want to take or emphasize also is the fact that we are talking about international job market, right? And we're talking about international customers that you will service. So you need to have very high quality resources available. Like you very correctly said, otherwise companies will go elsewhere. They will move out of Sri Lanka unless the talent is, competent, capable, and a high quality talent. So thank you so much, Mangala, for sharing that insight. I'd like to direct the next question to the Dean of IIT, Ms. Naomi Krishnaraja. And Ms. Naomi, I have 3 questions for you. And the first is, when does this course begin? When does the master's in IT begin? And secondly, I think this is a very important question, because there are many degree programs out there. What is really valuable or what is really needed is endorsement on a degree program. So who endorses this degree program? And number 3 is, how would you manage the quality of the program itself?
Yeah, so the course begins in September, end of September, that is the 27th of September. And we have an orientation program which will be on the 21st of September in the evening at 6 p.m. And then from 27th onwards, the course begins. Then the next question that you asked is about who endorses this program. So it's University of Westminster. So students will get a degree from the University of Westminster, which is situated in London. And so your qualification is endorsed by them. Then, of course, how do we manage quality? So in order to produce high quality graduates, we have to have quality assurance principles embedded in the institute. And one is, we have four principles, or we would say 5 principles. One is responsibility. And the quality assurance document itself with Westminster and with us have agreed that there are designations. So you have designated people who will take responsibility of ensuring that there is quality. So we have the course leader who will be overseeing you. Then you have a module leader who teaches the module. We have committees, various committees like course committee. Then we have the heads of department. So there are different individuals who have to take the responsibility to ensure quality. So these are some of the people whom I said within, but there are people outside, there are other stakeholders, like University of Westminster has to check that we have adhered to this. So they have assigned roles from their part. So they have a liaison tutor, they have their quality assurance unit who will check. They also have assigned an external examiner who would come and check how examinations are marked, assessed. Even during the pandemic, they did it online because all assignments were recorded online and marked online. So you have that external examiner, and he or she is not from the university. He's from a different university, so that they can ensure that the quality assurance authority in UK knows that this is not just validated by somebody in University of Westminster. So that's the third party. So you have these different individuals who have to take responsibility, and they are accountable. So accountability is there. So though individuals are given roles and responsibilities, they have to be accountable. So we have reports going out saying each module leader has to produce a report, accountability on how the assessments and things worked out and what went wrong and what went right, and all these things are checked. Also consistency. We have to ensure that it's consistent throughout all the courses across the institute, and also proportionality. That is, sometimes we have, for example, when we are taking in a student, there can be a risk if we don't take the right student because he can fail on the course. So we have to ensure that we have interviews, because we have to see, this is a British degree. If we don't take the right student, University of Westminster can even reject. So we have to see that proportionality is also maintained, and these are communication, ensuring that quality and standards are communicated across to the students. So we have sometimes for students, there is a place where they can voice their opinion. We have something called the course committee. The students come and say, this module we feel can improve, and then we go back and we refine it. Right? So students can come and talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the course. And it's not taken as a bad feedback, it's taken as a positive feedback. It is addressed by the institute. It's also sent to the University of Westminster. So there are different processes through which this quality is ensured. And also another additional thing is we make sure that students develop their lifelong learning skills. So it's not just that you come and learn object-oriented programming and learn mobile development, but we make you to become learners, train you in such a way when you go into the industry, you can continue to learn, because There is no stopping for learning. So also develop your presentation skills. Every assessment will have individual or a group presentation. So you develop your communication skills, your report writing skills. You might have to be a technical writer, or when you ever develop a project, you might have to write a blog. Certain companies make sure that the students, that the employees write blogs. So various other aspects are looked in. So it's a course which looks out at the all-round development of a student, not just passing an exam and getting a qualification, but you develop other skills as well, and even team working. So we have assignments where you will have to work as a team. So there are various processes through which we ensure that quality is maintained.
Thank you so much, Ms. Naomi. Just those two dates that you mentioned, could we have it again? One is the beginning date and also the orientation.
Yes, so the orientation is on the 21st at 6 o'clock in the evening. And then we also have the course commences on the week 27th September. That is a Monday. But the exact date of the course, the timetable will be given on the orientation week. So it will be 2 working days in the week, in the evening. Classes start at 6 o'clock in the evening, and it will be 6 to 9. And for this semester, since we are going through this pandemic, it will be online. But once things settle down, then it will be back in the campus at Ramakrishna Road.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ms. Naomi. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 21st is the orientation, and 27th onwards would be the commencement of the program itself. Also, if there's anyone, I'm sure there are many in the audience who are now interested to engage and be a part of the program. Ms. Naomi, what is the best way they can proceed from this point? Is it correct that they can call marketing of IIT and get the information needed on how to register?
Yeah, so you can call marketing IIT and you can register on the program. We will have interviews and advise you on any further progress.
Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, let me give you quickly the number that you can dial if you want to get in touch with marketing. The number is 0766 760 760, 0766 760 760. Also, you can get information and register online as well on the website. So the website is posted on the chat screen here on Zoom, but those of you who are logged in on Facebook and YouTube, I will read out the URL. The URL is www.iit.ac.lk and /course/MSc Information Technology. Okay, once again, www.iit.ac.lk/course/MSc Information Technology. Okay, so keep that in mind if you would like to register, get more information, or contact IIT for further details. There is one question that I can see that has come up, and I think this has been asked more than once. The question, and I'll just read the question that Chatura has raised. The question is, does the MSc in IT have a research project? Does it have a research project? And I think Dilan or Ms. Naomi or Dr. Damita, if you would like to take that on. Is there a research project in the program?
There is a project, but it's not a research project as such. If you want to, you can do a research project, but as long as you can solve a problem, so if you want to, you can convert it into a research project and publish work out of it, but it is not mandatory. For the MSc, it is as long as you can solve a business problem and develop a solution to address that problem. But it is up to the student if he wishes to make it a research project and publish some papers. Very good.
Excellent.
I
Thank
think
you.
I think I can add a few more things to what Naomi has just said. Actually, this course is a little bit different to other courses that you can find in traditional universities. This is a project-based degree program. So every course, there are number of projects that you have to complete. So this, if you want, you can take these projects to another higher level and can engage in enhancing these projects to some applications if you want.
Thank you, Doctor. Yes. All right. There's another question that I'd like to quickly ask from Professor Kodikara as well as Dr. Damitha. This question is from Tanuka in the audience. So Tanuka says, I have a BA honors in business management and a MSc in project management, as well as 4 years experience as a business systems analyst. My goal is to become a project manager in the IT industry. So Tanuka says, will this MSc in IT help me to reach my goal?
Yeah, Javi, actually, this is one of the questions from many audience. Actually, they think since their first degree is quite a different discipline, they are wondering whether this MSc would benefit them. And actually, you have added advantage because you know something other than computer science. So in computer science, there are basically two aspects, the theoretical computer science and applications. Actually, if you are very good in a kind of application area, different area, you can see how these tools could be customized to use in that area and how it can be further developed. So you are having a further advantage, having another fields is a kind of added advantage.
Right, Doctor. Absolutely. There's another question here from Deirdre. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, we may have a few minutes that you can raise those questions if you like on the chat. And here's another question from Deirdre. And Deirdre asks, what object-oriented languages will be used in the master's degree program? So I believe, Dilan, you might be the best person to answer that.
Yes. So in the object-oriented programming module, they will basically learn about C# language and also about the .NET framework mainly.
Thank you, Dilan. Is there any way that the audience can even reach you for further questions on the syllabus, the details of the syllabus, or if they would like to get more information directly on the program content itself, can they reach you for that?
I will drop my email address and they can directly email it to me and for the questions. Okay,
thank you, Dilan. So I believe that was a question also from the audience. How can we get more details on the syllabus content and so on? So please do get in touch with Dilan. He's the course leader and the senior lecturer who will be handling the course. So for those of you who are in Zoom, you can see his email address on the chat. For those of you who are watching in from YouTube and Facebook, the email address is dilan.s, that's dilan.s at iit.ac.lk, right? Dilan.s at iit.ac.lk. Thank you, Dilan. I believe there are no further questions at this time, and we have come to the conclusion of the program. I want to thank the panel members. If there are any further questions, please feel free to raise them. But otherwise, I would like to take a moment to thank the panel once again for the input. Yes, we have one question. And Nuza asked this question: how many optional modules, pathways can be chosen apart from the core modules? So I think, Dilan, that goes back to you. How many optional modules or pathways can be chosen?
A maximum of 2 optional modules, Havindra. So they can choose any 2 optional modules out of those 8 optional modules provided. And as I mentioned in the presentation, they can even choose those 2 optional modules across the pathways as well. There are not any restrictions.
Thank you, Dilan. There's another question, Dilan, that's on data science, whether it includes machine language programming. I don't know whether this is relevant.
In data science,
machine learning, yeah.
Machine learning.
Yeah, machine learning program. Data science, does it include machine learning programming?
No, Havindra. So at the moment, yeah, it is not included.
All right. Thank you, Dilan.
I have to give you one additional thing on this, actually, there are many, many disciplines on this ICT. So you can't be the expert of all disciplines. So you have to choose your discipline, and only then you can master that discipline. I don't think anybody can master all these different areas within his life. It's not possible.
Correct. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Damitha. So panel members, thank you so much for being with us. I believe there are no more questions at this time. Mr. Mangala Perera, thank you for joining us, Chief Operating Officer of Root Code Labs and also General Council Member of SLASCOM. It was a pleasure having you, and I think you shared some great insight. Thank you so much. Professor Damitha, thank you so much for being with us. Also, Professor Kodikara, thank you so much for the input and insight. Ms. Naomi Krishna, the head of IIT, thank you for being with us. I think it's been a pleasure. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you stay safe and have a pleasant evening. So goodbye, everyone, and good night.